Morning, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you slept well. We are making up for yesterday. I woke up late, so there was no reading yesterday. And my day got away from me. So we're going to do a reading today. First, we're going to ask what the energy is. What's our current energy? Yesterday was kind of a cluster, if you will. It was a busy day for me at work. Ended up staying a few hours late, and I didn't get any of my homework done. So I had to come home and be responsible about that. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good week and had some beautiful readings. And let's see what Spirit has for us today. So, in the interest of getting back to our normal format, since the other day it was kind of a discombobulation, we are gonna ask about the current energies. So what is the current energy for today? Spirit, Source, God, Creator. What's our energy for today? We have got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So Ace of Pentacles in reverse is that stress. It's stressing about your resources, wondering if the resources are going to be there when you need them. When it's in the upright, you see they trust and have faith that the resources are going to fall right into their hands, right? I'm just looking at this little tattoo on the wrist there. Can't really tell what that is. It's anyway, I guess it's not important. When it's in the reverse, it's spending, right? It's the resources are coming out more than they're going in. But this is just energy, so this is just today's energy. This isn't a prediction of what's going to happen. I guess I don't know that I've ever told you guys specifically, but tarot is not fortune telling. It's just reading the current energies, and you can take the information that you get in a tarot reading and you can change it, or you don't have to claim it. We all have free will, and there's no reason to believe that what you hear here is the absolute end all. But it's just meant to be a guide, right? It's meant to be cliff notes for your life, if you will. So when you hear things like this energy of being in lack, being in having your resources be finite, it's just a warning to you to change it, right? And if you look here, the circular flow of these resources seems to be kind of stopped, right? It looks like it's somewhat blocked between the wizard's hand and the resources. But what we don't see, or what we tend not to see when we're in this kind of energy, is those resources are the spark. It's seeing that flame in the fire and assuming it's going to go out at some point, instead of it being a never-ending flame. And that flame of life force energy, of resources, of ideas, of creativity, it never ends, guys. It never ends. And sometimes we see just linear, right? Just linear. Just one line to the next, one line to the next. But if you think about the infinity symbol, it's never ending, right? It just keeps going and going and going. So we've got the circle, never-ending circle, but then we've got these linear thoughts and patterns that creep up on us every once in a while. So we have to get back to that cyclical energy of understanding that everything you need will be provided for you. We don't always know how. We don't always have to know how. We just have to trust and believe that things are gonna be there when you need them. But right now we're not feeling that, and that's okay, because at least now we know. And then we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. So I think we got the Ten of Swords the other day. So there's 10 swords in his back, right? He's feeling pretty beat up, but we've got this in the reverse. So Ten of Swords in the reverse is it's a new start, right? It's recovering. He's beaten up pretty bad, obviously, even possibly killed, I guess as the case may be. But and he was working on something. And this almost looks like it's the wizard deck that we're using. Let me show you. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. The wizard's deck here, tarot. Illustrated by Mike Janssens and written by Barbara Moore. So the wizard is at the end of all of this, people beating him up, people criticizing him, people judging him, you know, whatever negatives you want to put in there, right? It's just, there's 10 of them, 10 swords. And he was working on something at the time that this happened. The candle is still lit. It hasn't burned down yet. And there's books on the table that he clearly took from the shelves. But this is in reverse. So I feel like this means those judgments, those things that he let in to pierce his soul, basically, they're falling out, right? Because we have gravity. Gravity works. The swords of doubt, the swords of judgment, the swords of inauthenticity are falling away, right? And I think with his work that's on the board, in addition to shedding those swords of limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs, he's looking at things from a different perspective, right? So the swords may have actually helped in the long run. And that's kind of what that looking at things from the opposite perspective are, right? So you take that negative situation and you transmute it and you look at it from the other side and you see, how is this helping me? What did I learn? What can I gain? How can I grow? And then once you've gotten those lessons, they don't come back, right? Once this sword falls, it doesn't need to fall back in. Like, we get stuck in these cycles where if it falls, maybe it hits the ceiling, right? And it flips upside down and comes right back. So, and maybe that's what this work is over here. It's how do I get rid of them and then keep them away? And because swords is thoughts and words, the only way you keep those away is by changing your thoughts, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of, I think it's called TUT, T-U-T, and it's Mike Dooley and Andy Dooley, and they're brothers. I don't think Andy Dooley's involved in the daily notes, but it's notes from the universe. And I get an email with them every morning, and it's transmitting those thoughts. It's taking those things that we thought were bad and turning them into good, right? It's keeping your thoughts positive people around you, positive messages, in everything, whether it's initially perceived as negative or positive. Which is good, because if we're going to think about lack, then at least let's transmute that and flip it around and turn it around and look at it from the other side of the coin, if you will. You know, we've got coins. Here's coin. Tells us who it is, Archangel Raphael. But then on the back, it explains it, right? So when you look at something from the other side, you get the explanation. And for those of you who can't see it, because I know my lighting's still a little weird, Archangel Raphael says, "May joy and love help us find a healthy soul, body, and mind." So, yeah, I mean, things at first, I wouldn't have seen that in this coin upon first looking at it, right? But somebody else may have. Somebody may have studied Archangel Raphael and have known what his powers that be, or whatever, his what he stands for, I guess. I don't know how to say that in a better way. They may have known that, so they might not have had to look at it from the opposite side. And when we take that 10 of swords and we flip it, it's knowing that on the other side is something good, and not having to even read it, just trusting that Archangel Raphael is bringing us whatever good he's meant to bring, right? So with that energy, I mean, it's kind of 3D and 5D, right? It's seeing things as they are, but then knowing that they're in our highest good. And that's our energy, and that's a nice energy to have. It's really nice because it eliminates anxiety and worry and depression and fear. All those negative emotions tend to fall to the wayside when we look at it from the perspective of everything is happening for me and not to me. So that makes for a better life all around. So with that energy, let's see what's our advice for today. What tidbits of advice can you give us for today? Ooh. 2 cups, balance, partnership. These wizards are working together to create this flame, and that looks like either a lotus or a Merkaba, or Merkaba, however you want to say it. I guess it depends on tomato, right? But they're using their magic, and they've combined it. And you've got ice, which is blue, and fire, which is the orange here. And fire and ice come together to create this beautiful pink-purple crown chakra. That's connection to the divine, right? Blue would be indicative of the upper 3 chakras, and the orange indicative of the lower 3 chakras. And the fact that they're coming together indicates the heart chakra. So they come together in love. They come together in partnership. They're coming together in teamwork, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. And so this is the advice, be partners. Don't be opposing forces. Figure out that even those enemies that we may have, or perceived enemies, serve a purpose, and partner into that. Now, that doesn't mean if your friend's going to go rob a bank that you should go to help them. But maybe it means that you should talk them out of it. Be a partner, be a good partner. And cups is love, it's emotions. So this is just allowing the energies to be what they are, right? They divided. When they're not working together, they stay in the 3D or the 5D or the lower 3 chakras, the upper 3 chakras. But when they combine them with that gateway of the heart chakra, with love, with the cups, then they can make magic happen, right? And if you're a wizard, that's your ultimate goal. Wizard energy is that creation that, let's make magic. What is magic? Is I guess magic would be transmutation. It doesn't have to be something that's altogether like David Copperfield walking on water or something like that, but it could be as simple as, I'm having a bad day, let me turn it into a good day. That's a form of magic. It's I didn't get this job, but ending up getting a better job, and knowing that before you get that better job. That's magic, guys. That's just magic at the end of the day. So what's some more advice for today? All right, that's gonna be the end of our messages. King of Cups in the reverse, and then the Hermit. So the King of Cups in reverse is the it's emotionally abusive, it's manipulation. And I kind of want to talk about that for a minute. So with emotional abuse and manipulation, it sounds really bad, right? And it's not saying, because we did ask for advice, it's not saying that this is what you should do. You shouldn't be emotionally abusive, and you shouldn't be manipulative. But what you can do, have you ever heard that saying, guys, use your powers for good? Some of us have an ability to, and I do mean us, to manipulate a situation, and you don't even realize you're doing it half the time. You can, I can't think of a good example for a good manipulation, but a bad one would be, if you're giving things with the expectation of return. That is a form of emotional manipulation. And those of us that are codependent or were codependent, we're doing that and we don't realize it. It's not an intentional manipulation, it's just a manipulation. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. So what this card is saying is maybe try using that for good, right? So how could you use that for good? Let's think about this. He's got his emotions in the upper 3 chakras, right? It's at the top instead of at the bottom. He seems to be in this wave of emotion, but he's being drowned by it. So when you're drowning in your emotions, and you're trying to find a way out, and you're grasping for straws, you're grasping for those things, I think what this is saying is maybe ask for help, right? Ask for help, because not because you deserve it, but because you need it. And don't think that that person you're asking for help, we have a tendency to believe that we are like everyone else, or everyone else is like us. So if we give with the expectation of getting something back, we tend not to ask for help if we can't give something back right away. And I think what this card is saying is you do have something to give back. You know, it doesn't have to be something of the same tangible item. Okay, for example, you're $20 short on your rent, and you ask for $20, and you know you can't pay that back. Maybe you say, well, let me mow your lawn, right? It's transmuting that manipulation backwards in your highest good, in your favor, if you will, where you're on the receiving end of that emotional manipulation. Turn it around, right? Turn it around. And know that there's more than one way for those resources to be brought to you. There's no harm in asking for help, and help, the teamwork that makes the dream work will help to the Hermit. Now the Hermit is going within, right? This card, this wizard he's taking all his magic in his staff, and he's walking away, and he's in the dark of night, and the dark of night is reflecting, right? That's that shadow work that we're always talking about. That always happens at night, or tends to anyway. And night, metaphorically, not actual night, although it can be actual night. But the Hermit is basically reflecting alone, right? He's on his quest for his personal truth. Now here's the cool part about the Hermit. Seeing that in the lantern that he's carrying is the truth. The truth is within him, and he doesn't even realize it. He's using that lantern to light his way. And when he goes within and he finds his truth, it's his truth that lights the path. Have you ever heard the saying, I think it was Rumi, maybe, that said it, that the path will appear once you take a step on the path. You have to walk the path for the path to appear. And that's what the Hermit is saying, is just trust yourself, trust your instincts. Because your truth is what's going to end up getting you where you want to be. I don't want to sound cliche and say the truth will set you free, but I mean, it's true that finding your truth, walking your path, seeking your truth, seeking your fulfillment, your joy, is what's going to leave you fulfilled. It's what's going to free you from the constraints of these Ten of Swords. It's going to help you realize that this, whatever thing, this truth, that is what's meant for you. Good example, I got a job at the library at C&M yesterday. So as some of you that know me know that I'm already a tutor there, but I'm working on work study. It's a scholarship for our school. And I was blessed enough to get hired with a part-time position where now I'm a real boy, I'm on real benefits and a real job and whatnot. So with that, my references needed to be checked. And again, those of you that know me know that I have a new legal name. So with the references needing to be checked, of course, they're going to check references in my new name. So I needed to call my old employers and let them know that they would be getting a reference check for a name that they probably have never heard of before, and let them know that it was actually me. My old boss, Jen, is amazing and a very dear friend of mine and someone who I respect and admire a lot, sent back, I would hire you back in a minute if I could. And just hearing that, just knowing that I left that job on such good terms, it warmed my heart. And my answer to her was, it's not really my path to be a computer developer anymore, but if you need somebody to teach a stress relief class, I'm your girl, right? So, but that's following my path, right? I could have maybe pursued what that little nugget of information might have meant. Could I get my old job back, which would have solved a lot of problems for me right now. But that's not my path. That's not my truth. It was at one time, and it served me well, and I'm very grateful and appreciative for it. But I need to move forward on my path, and those are the letting things go that no longer serve you. And that's what the Hermit's doing here, right? He's following his joy, what makes him happy. And not that work didn't make me happy at one time, but it's not as fulfilling as it used to be. And I've taken steps forward where that is no longer the case, and there's nothing wrong with that. And understanding that, you know, that the blessings will come, the resources will be there. Just because I'm not making 6 figures as a computer developer anymore doesn't mean that I'm not going to survive. Often, like Rumi said, step on the path and the path will appear. You don't always know what's coming from this path, but you can rest assured that it will take care of you. Because if you're fulfilled on the inside, God will ensure that you're fulfilled on the outside. So, as far as the tarot reading, I like that statement. You know, as long as you're fulfilled on the inside, God will provide your fulfillment from the outside. And I like that enough to leave it there. So, that is the advice for today with this energy is trust and believe, which is generally the reading for every day, right? It's not just today that we need to remember that it should be a part of every reading that we do. But we're going to get some advice or tidbits from the Making Magic. So we're going to go out there and make some magic today, guys. Manifesting your dreams with the moon. So we're going to see what magic are we going to make today? What magic are we going to make today? What magic can we make today? Abracadabra with wings. Fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. So keep in mind, guys, that your wings, right, angel wings, could mean so many different things. And when I read that, the first thing I thought of was, I don't know, I think I mentioned it earlier in the week with the Enneagram. It's a personality measurement, if you will, and it's 1 through 9, and it's in a circle, right? So when you get your number, your wings are the numbers to either side of that, right? So, for example, I'm a 2, and so that means I can have a 2 wing 1 or a 2 wing 3, and it's which one of those do I lean closer to? And it's understanding that those wings are supportive energies, right? So if you understand that, and you understand your own personality, that gives you wind beneath your wings with which to fly, right? So good fortune and lucky chances are coming. But just remember to look left and right, and up and down, and all around. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Beautiful reading. Like always, we very seldom don't have a beautiful reading. And even when they're not, right, we transmute those. We find the lessons, we find the understanding, we understand that everything is in our highest good, even when it doesn't feel like it is. And we trust that. So I'll leave it there. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Much love and light.